It's not you. It's you. Hey,
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 so here we are, Loudmouth Sports Talk. I am Courtney Brown. We got George Frisch, the co-owner, Robbie from Ahead of the Curve, Sean from Loudmouth Off the Top Rope, Rob from Mucking and Grinding, and finally we have Miss Michelle from Bombshell Bowling, our outfitter of Loudmouth Sports Talk, coming here. We are so glad to have you, Miss Michelle. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's been a long time coming. Shout out to Rob because Rob was the one with the idea and was like, hey man, in the middle of the show, he's like, hey, we should totally bring Miss Michelle on. And it was like, that's a good idea. You're
Sweet.
right, we should. So can you tell us how Bombshell Bowling became a thing and how it started?
Actually, it's actually not a long story. We were sitting around one day and I said, hey, we should start a shirt company. And my investor was like, okay. And we just did. We picked a couple of designs and we went for it. The first two designs came out in November 2018. That was like our test bed. And then as of January, we've had members join to get monthly subscription of shirts. So ever since then, we've been doing a shirt pretty much every month. As of 2020, we started doing bi-monthly shirts. And just because I didn't want people to get inundated. But at the end of the day, it was just an idea. And we did a test bed to see how it would go. And it went well.
And I think I remember because when I first met you, and this is where we first met because Miss Michelle started my bowling hobby. I had came down, I got stationed in DC in November of 2017, and then I went what a year. I didn't start bowling until a year in December, right before Christmas, when you had a Christmas deal going on, and I met you, and you sold me the Marvel Pearl.
That's right.
So it's still one of my favorite
One of the
balls to
best
use.
balls on the
So
market, or not on the market. It's actually discontinued, but it's a great ball. So
right.
yeah, so yeah, we've been around for a little over a year now, really actively um, selling, doing, designing shirts. So we're looking to expand into some other markets. We're looking at probably doing, working on a line of golf shirts now, and maybe some fishing apparel as well.
Hmm,
Got a lot of stuff
sweet.
going.
fishing
So
apparel.
go ahead, Rob or Sean.
so I'll start it off. So you again, perfect transition. Talking about you guys going to again golf apparel, fishing stuff like that. What I guess breaks apart a bowling jersey or shirt from the normal run of the mill T-shirt? If at
Mostly
all.
material. We use a dry fit, breathable material because, of course, you're sweating when you bowl. Most tournaments require some sort of collar and, well, not most, but some, especially when you get to the higher level tournaments, they require collar and, a nice and sleeves. And some of them actually give you awards for looking nice, to be, believe it or not, they do. Um, so that's the biggest difference between like golf and other sports. Fishing, in particular, they have a bunch of different collars and long sleeve, short sleeve, because they, of course, they compete in different types of weather. But bowling is mostly indoors, so pretty much most jerseys are short sleeve. We do have some long sleeve jerseys. Uh, I don't know why anybody would ever wear long sleeve jerseys, but they do. Um, and that's pretty much the difference. It's mostly material. I mean, there are a few materials out there, but at the end of the day, you want something that's breathable and stretchy. comfortable while you're bowling.
So, Miss Michelle, you mentioned going in on some fishing apparel next. Are you going to be just doing shirts for that also, or are you going to be looking to branch that into like some sleeves and some net gaiters and some big old wide brimmed hats?
We already do gaiters. So we started gaiters that actually match the jerseys for bowling. So we already have those. We're selling those. We started selling those, of course, as after COVID. And I don't know about hats. That may be a little bit down the road, but definitely we do arm sleeves as well for bowling. So we pretty much have all that stuff in our line right now.
Cool.
So, Miss Michelle, you were talking about the golfing. With the golf shirts, are you guys trying to get into some of the schools to, outfit the high school teams, or just a local amateur, say like Oakmont Country Club or any of the other local uh, venues?
She's from DC.
Oh, but it still works for high schools.
Yeah, we do. Actually, there's a couple of high schools in the area that did have a golfing program. I don't know if they still exist, but the idea right now, I just had a couple of people that play actively ask me to make shirts. So we're going to just start with, they're casual golfers. There's a few folks that golf in leagues that we'll probably target. Hitting the schools is something we want to look at for bowling as well, but until we get through COVID, that'll probably be something we look at down the road, maybe in another year or so.
So, Miss Michelle, I think right now is the perfect opportunity for you to go ahead and talk to us about what you have coming up with Loudmouth and Bombshell Bowling. Can you explain that?
Yeah, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but we have on the new Loudmouth hoodies that will be coming out. We'll be taking pre-orders as of today. They are live on the site for ordering. So you can place your orders. And we were actually able to get, I know we had some issues with sizes before. So these hoodies actually go up to size 5X. So a wide range of sizes. And it'll be the navy blue color that we're wearing. And we're looking forward to seeing what you guys think. Well, we're also exploring some new stuff. So I'm working with the guys to see if we can maybe do some more creative things. I don't know if they want to spill beans, but just stay tuned. If you keep an eye on the page on the website, we post new stuff when it's available.
I just, from all of us, we talk about it all the time through every show, through all of our shows. We talk about how important you have been to Loudmouth, and we wouldn't be able to be as successful as we were without you. It's so appreciated. And our partnership has been great this entire time for you to be able to make sure all of our stuff are taken care of, all the orders we had with the shirts, over 100, to be able to function and make sure that we're in great communication, and there has been no problem. So we definitely appreciate it. I wanted to ask, because obviously I know you're a bowling coach. How did you get into bowling, and like how did you get to where you were, and what you do now?
As far as coaching?
Well, no, as far as bowling and then transitioning to coaching and doing everything.
Bowling as in high school, junior high school actually, in a youth league. So I got my interest at that point, and I bowled off and on for years. Once I decided to come back to bowling, I took a break for a while. Once I decided to come back, I decided that I wanted to explore I had coaches along the way, but I wanted to try some different coaches and see what I can learn. So I joined a group where I learned a lot, and then I decided that I wanted to continue learning. So I started working in a pro shop. And when I joined the pro shop, one of the qualifications was to become a coach. And of course, you could do the basic level coaching, which was fine, but I decided that I wanted to learn more. So I became bronze level coach, and then I also became a certified driller working in the shop. So, there's lots to learn. If you have the desire, just like with anything, if you have the desire to learn, there's a ton of stuff out there. I don't think anybody knows everything about bowling. I don't care what they say. There's always stuff to learn. There's a gazillion patterns out there to play on. There's so many different types of bowling balls, bowling surfaces, the lane surfaces, just a gamut of things to learn. So you'll continue to learn um, if you want to continue to grow your game.
So you're talking about the ball that you sold Courtney whenever he first started getting in to this sport. What makes or breaks the differences in the ball other than the obviously bowler?
Oh, that's a long conversation, but
Give us a
I
Spartan version.
could talk about bowling balls all day, so that's not a conversation you can start with me. But
Hey, look, we asked anything before the show, and there was nothing, Mr. Michelle. And then he was like, "Bang!" He's like,
yeah, I could talk about bowling balls all day.
I just thought of something.
So there's a lot that goes into a bowling ball. The core of the ball. Every bowling ball pretty much has a different shape core, or a different type of core. Asymmetrical core versus symmetrical core. Also, the cover that's on the ball plays a part. And there are a lot of different covers that they use on bowling balls, solid covers, polished covers, a bunch of different things. Believe it or not, they say there's, and I think it's sort of true, color also plays a part. They say the darker the color of the ball, the more the ball will hook. So there are a bunch of variations. And the thing with bowling balls is that not every bowling ball is good for every bowler. You have to know you have to be able to use what's best for your game. One of the things that makes Marvel Pro a great ball is that it's very neutral. It fits a lot of different styles of bowlers, and it's very forgiving. So if you nobody's perfect, but it does kind of cover up a lot of your issues when you're bowling, your inconsistencies, so to speak. So it's a great piece in that manner, and it's just very forgiving on the lanes. It doesn't overreact. It doesn't underreact. It's just very, it's a very even kill ball. So for me, it was probably one of the first balls that I really, really loved. Like I really had an appreciation for. But there's a million of them out there. I pretty much throw everything that Storm and Roto Grip releases. So I've had the opportunity to throw a lot of different stuff, and I've learned what works for me and what doesn't. And contrary to most people's belief, not every ball is meant for everyone. But working in the pro shop, if you work with your pro shop, you can actually get the most out of your ball. Like you can find a ball that may not be great for you, and we can still make it work for you.
Which again,
there's so many.
Shout out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So,
all I know is I just got my new excuse for whenever I bowl horribly. It's clearly the neon color of the ball that is messing me up.
It is. It is. It is.
Hey, so shout out to AFS Pro Shop. That's who Miss Michelle works for. Shout out to all the guys out there. PBAJ, who's a big guy. Jay Medina, who's in the sports group every day. Shout out to Leon. Shout out to Sean Friendly. Shout out to everybody working there. Miss Michelle, we appreciate you and all that you do. Is there anything else you have for us? Again, go to bombshellbowling.com/loudmouth sports talk for all loudmouth gear, and check out bombshellbowling.com for all Miss Michelle's cool new shirts. Right now, Miss Michelle, what deal do you have for Bombshell Bowling? Because you have a sale going on right now, correct?
We do. Buy 2 jerseys, get 1 free. And those will be personalized. You can get your name on them, all that good stuff. I figure, the COVID-15 hit a lot of us. You may need to pick up a couple new shirts because the other ones may be a little snug. So pick up a couple and just to hold on to until you drop a couple down. So, whatever your reason is, we have a sale.
All right, Miss Michelle. Well, we appreciate you for being on. Thank you for everything you do for us. We are so excited, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. If you need anything, you know where to find me. Have a great time.
All right, we'll see you.
All right.
Hey, so that was Miss Michelle. Like she said, our hoodies are officially available to purchase right now for sizes small through 2XL, They are $40, and then for 3XL, 4XL, and 5XL, they're $45. Go ahead and get your hoodies, guys.
Unfortunately, the hoodies are not sleeveless.
Unfortunately,
I'm about to make my hoodie sleeveless. I'm about to get that.
Listen,
Bill
I'm a big
Belichick
fan of the
hoodie.
sleeveless hoodie look.
Bill Belichick literally made.
I mean, I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm big on sleeveless anyway.
Yes, we can tell. Hence by the shirt you have on right now, which I'm pretty sure is a sleeveless loudmouth shirt.
It actually is. It
Ah.
finally came in, and it fits great. Fits great on my arms because it doesn't fit on my arms. New favorite shirt.
Does it match those old man waterproof shoes you have?
Yeah, actually, everything matches them because they're brown, and brown matches with everything. Rob.
Yo, it's so funny. He was roasting you when you put that picture up. I was like, yo.
I'm old and I won't even wear those.
Listen,
but real
sometimes
quick-
it's about
I don't
function
care
over
how-
form.
Hey, so real
You
quick,
can function
guys,
in cool shoes.
we're about to have the man himself, Mr. Matt Like the comedian, coming on, man. Hey, what's up, Matt? Can you hear us? Could y'all hear him? I can't.
No, I can't hear you.
Well, we know it's not the mic. That's a Blue Yeti mic. And Blue Yeti
Yeah, that's a good mic. How about now?
There,
Oh,
There we go.
there we go.
What's up, guys?
no, what's
Hey,
up?
what's up, man?
Look
Got
at
somebody
this.
behind you.
It's like the Brady Bunch of degenerate gamblers.
Are you psychic? Because I never met you before, and you already know the most important thing about me. So
I love it.
Hey, listen, hey Matt, I've been following you for a while, man, and I was so excited when I hit you up and you wanted to come on the show, and then you just put on a 65 Boulevard run of food, and it's just like it's insane at what you do, man. So, can you explain to us a little bit about who you are and where you come from?
Yeah, I grew up in the North Hills, Westview area in Pittsburgh. And what I do is I drive on 65 and find every fast food place possible. I spent $65, and it's going to cost me probably $4,000 for them to remove my foot from diabetes that I just got 10 minutes ago. So, I mean, but no, I mean, I'm a stand-up comedian from Pittsburgh who's going to be hopping to his next fucking show. Yeah, so I might be a sit-down comedian after this shit. So we'll see.
And then right now, Matt, you're in the running right now for the best comedian in Pittsburgh, correct?
Yeah, I should win. What do you think?
I
You
think
think
you should.
I love it. If I win, first thing I'll do as best comedian in Pittsburgh is I'll buy you a light for your camera.
Yeah, I think
You
you
can
need one.
see you.
You talking about George?
No, I'm not gonna mess with you. Your name's Big Daddy. And you have tattoos. This is my Big Daddy right here. Not Michael's. Yo, how many edibles did you guys eat before this show? Like, where are my edibles? So is everybody from Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in
No.
Florida. That's why I've been eating edibles.
Florida? Nice. I
You gotta
would
be high to
too.
survive.
Yeah, it's true. Florida's wild. What are you drinking in that fake Yeti?
I promise it's water.
Oh, okay. The Fetty. Oh, I love it. Iron City, bro. Love it. Boom, right there.
Oh, which one you got right there?
That's Icy Light right here. And then I got my Iron City beer helmet. If you want, I can just wear this bitch the whole time.
Yo, that worked.
Hey, so you're a big WWE fan, man. So we got
Love it.
off the top rope himself, Sean Evans, in here. Hey, I think you would be great on the show Saturday with Sean Evans, man. Go ahead and talk about some WWE stuff, Sean. What you got?
So some of the stuff we talk about, just the current product today. We try to get people's opinions on whether they're liking the product or not as of today. currently now we're both me and my co-host Luciano, we're going to be boycotting NXT
Why is that?
due to the whole Velveteen Dream issue.
Okay.
With him being back. So
Yeah.
until they decide to release him and let him go, we're not going to be following NXT.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you feel about that, man?
Well, I feel pissed off because why do you have Pat McAfee is about to be on NXT, so we're not watching it?
I mean, I don't care for Pat McAfee. I mean, I think he's great at what he does. I think he's good. But like, here's my thing: is like Adam Cole was your champion for what 430 days straight.
Yeah.
Now he's good. You would assume he's gonna lose this. So how do you go from being the longest reigning NXT champion to losing to a fucking punter? You know what I mean? Like the weakest guy at his in his profession is not going to beat up the best guy in his profession.
Yeah, I think it's definitely disrespectful. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like we had like times where like when we were kids, like people were like, well, "This is the first time." No, it's not. Like when Lawrence Taylor fought Bam Bam in '95.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's the greatest linebacker of all time. He's intimidating, right? Like if I go like this and you can't hit me, like I'm not afraid of you, dude. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I think it's stupid. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, the Velveteen Dream situation, to be honest, I know very minimal about it. I know that there were DMs being sent, and I know that like he did a voice recording, right? And they said it sounded like him. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, you guys probably know more than I do, but like, I think the biggest problem is like with cancer culture right now being at an all-time high. I would like to see all the facts. Now, they might be out there, but I literally turn off Twitter because I get shit on nonstop about stupid stuff. So like, I don't even look at my mentions or anything like that because there's always something new that like, oh, Matt was in Florida. I'm like, I haven't been to Florida for 3 years. I don't know what you're talking about. So, no, it's a totally different circumstance. But, I mean, if there's concrete evidence, or something, then I think he should be released.
Yeah, apparently there were messages, audio clip. I mean, and it's to minors. This is to a minor, to a child. So that's a whole big deal. And then you had like the Enzo Amore situation where he got sexual harassment accusation, but come to find out, like he didn't even do it at all.
He didn't do anything. She was a drug addict, right? She's just a crazy drug addict.
Yeah, and they were like, "You're released because of the accusation." So I'm like, if you're doing all of this, you can't. You have to punish the person who's actually doing it.
Well, I think it's something that you look at with the NFL, though, man. Like, if you look at, like, for example, okay, Enzo Amore, like, he kind of, after his first, like, year as a WWE's talent, you kind of knew he sucked in the ring, right? So, like, it was just one little thing, boom, you're gone, right? Like, it's like almost like the Big Ben forgiveness. Like, okay, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's untouchable, right? But then if you have, like, let's say Mason Rudolph does the exact same thing, he's gone without question.
Or Anthony Chickolo.
Right, yeah. Well, they kept him until his contract.
Yeah.
But, I totally know what you guys are saying.
So how is it? Oh, go ahead, Sean.
I said the only thing is, how do you feel about the current product today?
Here's what I think. I think we're too judgmental, man. I think we're too judgmental because I think everyone wants to relive the Attitude Era. But when you look at the Attitude Era, like that's just like most television in the late 90s. It wouldn't survive right now with everything going on in the world. Like a lot of the things that they did, like the DX did, if you watch a lot of their segments, like that shit would like not fly at all. You know what I mean? Especially when they had like they went Nation of Domination. People forget they all went in blackface and did all kinds of things like that. And we were 9 or 8 years old at the time. We didn't understand, you know what I mean? So we were like, oh, wrestling, they're just being characters. And like, I mean, it's publicly sold. Like there's a stock involved with WWE now. So they want to make it towards little kids. And what people don't realize, Before those 3 years that they feuded with WCW, it was an all kids product still. We just didn't realize it because we were those kids. WWE was always about kids. It's always going to be for kids, and because they know that the kids want the merchandise, and the fat ass marks like myself are still going to buy it regardless. I'm going to complain as much as I want, and then guess what? I'm going to go to the WWE shop and buy all this shit. You know what I mean? So the only thing that I don't like, is I think they're getting an unfair shake because there's no crowd, and it takes a lot away from what's going on. My biggest problem has been the way that they've handled Bray Wyatt. I don't think he should have ever chased the title. It makes no sense. The Undertaker was barely ever champion, but he was always a force to be reckoned with when he was out there.
Right.
And then also, my favorite wrestler is Dolph Ziggler. He's been for the last 10 years. So it kind of pisses me off that he's like the Cleveland Browns of, you know what I mean? Because like diehard Browns fans literally think every single year this is their year. And they hype up Ziggler for every WrestleMania. I mean, not WrestleMania, but every pay-per-view he's main eventing in. Like, you're like, oh my God, he's finally going to do it. Nope, he doesn't do it. So it's just like, that's my problem. But I mean, the product itself, I mean, it is what it is, man. They buy out all the indie wrestlers. Right. You know what I mean? And then they just sit them on the bench. So there's no competition. And now with AEW, I mean, what MJF is doing out there.
Oh, my God, is amazing.
Is amazing. My friend Britt Baker, I think, is the last 2 months is just playing this chicken shit heel in a wheelchair is so I told her, I was like, don't even come back. Just keep sitting on the wheel. It's so funny, Right. So their storylines, I think, are a lot more entertaining. WWE's is just like, oh, hey, we have 2 monster champions on both sides on Raw and SmackDown, and we don't know what to do until there's a crowd. That's what it seems like.
Yeah. I just think that WWE, AEW is a bell-to-bell company, bell-to-bell wrestling.
Yeah.
And WWE, it's like, can we at least start a show without a promo, please?
Right.
Like, segment. Just start with wrestling. So that's my whole issue on that. But what do you
Hey, real quick. Hold on, real quick. Hey, Matt, it's obvious you guys need to come on Loudmouth off the top.
You need to come on Loudmouth.
Yeah, man, I'll do it.
So we'll work with you, but we want to get back to getting everybody in because you and Sean can talk about this shit all day.
Sorry, guys.
But it's fine. So, hey, we just need to get you on the Loudmouth off the top rope. So we'll
for sure.
Contact. So what I want to know is, you said something that's so key where you said you turned off your Twitter mentions.
Yeah.
How did you get to the level of where you were, and how scary is it knowing that you're watched 24 no matter what? What's the pressure like?
I mean, here's I think the biggest problem you have is, for myself being a comedian, is that people take anything I say seriously. When literally nothing I say on like my personal life, nothing in real life is on social media. It's not on Facebook, none of that. And the persona, like, this is like when I started doing stand-up comedy, my goal was to be like the Shawn Michaels of wrestling, where he's the asshole. But he knows he's so good at what he does. Like, you want to hate him, but you can't. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the persona I took. But like, what's scary is like, man, like, with COVID going on, I had to, like, I toured like that. This has been my career for 6 years. And unfortunately, like, I haven't been able to work and do stand-up shows and travel and shit. So I had to get a day job. So like, I can't tell people where I work because and I've had people come into where I work and they're like, hey, I'm like, shut up. I was like, nope, Matthew. It says Matthew today, not Matt. You know what I mean? So that's been tough. But like on Twitter, I mean, as far as cancer culture is concerned, I think that shit will all end once like 2 or 3 people just quit apologizing. Just once everyone stops apologizing for things they said when they were like 12 or 13 years old. Like, because here's what's going to happen. Like right now, I'm 31 years old. I grew up during like the AIM Instant Messenger, the MySpace days and shit like that. So like 20 years from now, somebody that is in the same situation I am is going to be running for president. And you're going to be pulling up my tweets from 2013 about what I thought about Antonio Brown when he left the Steelers. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I think it's ridiculous, but I started turning the moment I had to start turning off my mentions was when I worked with Barstool, because I fought $20 Chef at Rough and Rowdy, and I had DMs every day, like 30 people telling me they were gonna come kill me, kill myself, all this, and it was, to me, it's so funny, because I know you're not real, you're not gonna do anything. But then, just like we were talking about wrestling, man, a couple days ago, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were just part of a fucking kidnapping thing. So I'm nowhere near on that level, but like Barstool is. So like the love that people have for Barstool, like they could just like come after me just because they want to like not sacrifice me to them, but kind of be like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, like, look what we did. We roughed them up for you. But in reality, that whole fight, like it was a work. Like the whole thing we did was to sell tickets to make money. And I think that's the problem is these people get so invested in other people's lives. Like just look in the mirror and better yourself, instead of worrying about how to bring somebody down. And that's the problem.
When did you make the decision that you want like comedian?
When my GPA was a 0.545 in high school. when the only time I would get A's in class is when I was like, can we do a video project, right? So we used to do video projects, but when I was in 8th grade, we did a video project. I don't know if you remember Most Extreme Elimination Challenge. Remember that show? They had a bunch. They filmed old Asian game shows and dubbed it with American voices. So we did the top 10 most brutal countdowns in Elizabethan times for some fucking book, Shakespeare book I read, right? So like we're watching it and I have it set up, like the camera is set up to the TV. So we're all watching it in class and like the countdown, I'd be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But instead of 1, it was like this. And the screen froze. So I was like this. And then there was a little subtext message saying Mr. Hubert's a fat fucking prick.
Oh, epic!
So they were like, he just looked at me. And he's like, Mr. Light, you know what to do. And I was like, all right. And I just went to the principal's office, and and I came back to the classroom like 2 days later. He gave me an A+. He gave me an A+ on this fucking project. I was like, what? And I mean, all my teachers, like, because I tested really well. I did really well in testing. I hated school. I didn't show up with books. I didn't like it, man. And I came from a family where I knew I wasn't going to college. Like, my parents didn't even graduate high school, so there was no pressure on me. So when I'm younger, like, I didn't give a shit. I was like, well, they made it. What do I need to go to school for? You know what I mean? And then I got in the real world and I'm like, oh man, this is tough, So I started stand up when I was 19 years old, 18 or 19, and I'm 31 now. So here I am in a basement with Shawn Michaels talking to the Brady Bunch. So I made it, guys.
Hey, he keeps calling us the Brady Bunch.
I love it, dude. You guys got to look up at each other and look over.
Well, it's weird. So like, I got to get used to like doing it the right way because like it's like inverted. So I feel like
oh yes, we got to go like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's like really weird. So like, yeah, it's great. So where do you measure your level of success and where do you want to go? Like, what is your goal?
I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say I'm at a 1 right now. I think because I'm doing what I want to do as far as success wise. I don't think I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I would say there's at least shut up, stop messaging me. There's a one there just because I am pursuing my dreams. And I think it's very important that when you do something very special, you appreciate that moment in that moment. But when that moment is over, you have to move on and look at the next project ahead of you. And I think, for being a kid that still lives in Pittsburgh, I mean, I've done a lot of cool things that I never thought I would do. My dream, like when I was a kid, the reason why I picked up a camera was because of Tom Green. Like I thought he was like the funniest dude ever. And 3 years ago, I opened up for him at the Pittsburgh Improv.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So like to me, I was like, if this is the end of it, if you would have told like 9-year-old Matt, hey, you're going to open up for Tom Green one day, I'd be like, that's it. That's all I need to know. But then after you do that, you're hungry and you want to keep eating. So I think there's a one there. Potential wise, man, I think anybody has the potential if you put in the work. And I think right now a lot of people are using excuses not to do stuff when right now with COVID, like this is the time to separate yourselves because everybody is on the same platform. Everyone's at the same playing field. Like no one's going anywhere. So right now, get your shit together, put out content daily, say something stupid online, do your videos, plug, because like the reality is if you make 10 videos, right, not all 10 of them are going to be good, right? But you're going to hit 1 or 2 that are really good. And you've seen how it is on Facebook. All it takes is one video, one moment to change everything, So I think we're all waiting for that one thing, but what people don't realize, it's not one video you do. It's one video out of the 100 you've done. So just keep plugging at it,
I didn't realize, honestly, talking about but talking about videos and stuff like that, I didn't realize how, like, I'm trying to think of how I was saying it, but like, you hit it on the head. That 1 in 100 might shoot you to, again, a bar stool or anything like that. Like that was, or like even like a Deadspin, because they were like nowhere and then they just blew up.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like when you look at Barstool, I mean, this has been a company that's been going around since the early 2000s. The guy was literally delivering little newspapers door to door to door in the New England area. And then, they started doing YouTube videos. And then they started, what was really smart of them is they started sharing other people's content and getting credit for other people's shit. But they were doing it, man. And it was smart. And they knew how to market themselves. And I think anybody can do that right now, especially like what you guys are doing, like this talk show. There's not enough of them. Like people are like, oh, there's so many of them. Yeah, but there's only one of you guys. You know what I mean? Like find what makes you different. Don't try and mimic Stephen A. Smith or Max Kellerman or some other dickhead who has a hot opinion that just wants viral views. You know what I mean? Just be you, man. And I think that has worked for me so well because when I first started doing stand-up comedy, I was told I had to do clean sets. I had to do, and I was like, this isn't me, right? So like for 3 years, I was trying to clean myself up to be better for everyone. But like you could tell it wasn't who I was. And then eventually I just said, you know what, fuck this. I'm not making it as what you wanted me to be. I'm going to be who I am. And if I don't make it, oh, well, at least I did it my way and I had fun. But then once people saw that I didn't care and I was doing things my way, then things were falling into line. And I think the biggest thing is just consistency, just keep doing it. And even if you think like you guys have a bad episode or you say the wrong thing, say it wrong fucking twice, 3 times, 4, it doesn't matter, man. Just keep doing it,
Hey, Robbie, do y'all have anything for him? Because I got a couple other things.
I got one thing. Buddy of mine, he said he knows you. 8 or 9 year old you played football, correct? Is this correct?
Yeah.
And you guys came out to Enter Sandman to beginning of your football games. Mike Marusic told me, he's like, I remember him when he was like 8, 9 years old. He's like, they come out to Enter Sandman, a bunch of scrawny little kids coming out to Enter Sandman, and all the parents freaking went nuts over Enter Sandman. Do you have any memories of this at all?
Yeah, man. I played for the North Hills Chiefs. I did North Hills, and I remember our big rivalry was Northside Saints because we were the only two teams that always was undefeated. And I mean, like, it was so cool because like when we would play Northside, like it was like you felt like it was Friday Night Lights, and we were like 10 years old. I mean, these fans are booing, throwing shit at you. Like I felt like it was Sunday Night Football.
Oliver High School?
Cleveland. What's at Oliver High School? Yeah. Yeah, right behind Oliver High School. And like we were walking there because we're awkward ass kids. I mean, like, you know, I'm this white kid with fucking highlights. I look like Sugar Ray, and I'm, you know what I mean? I'm walking in, and I hit. There's some 30-year-old grown man like, "Hey, you's a bitch." I was like, "Oh my god." So, like, I mean, like, it was just a big shock for us because we would just bully everyone, and then that shit happened, and I was like, "Oh man, this is for real," you know. But I must say that I was probably the North Hills Chiefs' greatest third-string fullback of all time. Of all time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Robbie, what you got for him?
Got nothing. He's been throwing some inspirational knowledge my way as a budding asshole funny guy. So this is stuff that I've been able to soak up.
So I wanted to ask, so where do you see, like, how do you market yourself in the media? Like, get yourself out there. Do you have a team? Or are you by yourself? Because I think for us, we want to become on level to where we're excited at where we're at, but I know we have more to go. So
yeah. What do you do? I mean, well, so like what I do, like, so I have, the team is pretty much just me for social media, but I have the guy that does all my man on the street videos and stuff. I've always been like, I think loyalty is very important to me. And I've always used the same guy from my first video to these videos. His name's Dustin Dowling. And he really helps me with the editing and producing. And, you know, there's some things that I'll say, he'll be like, we'll say it that way, you know. But when it comes to like marketing and like getting my name out there, it's just, I've been a troll since I was a kid, and I just find a way to piss people off, you know, like my new podcast that I'm working on, it's called You're Wrong, I'm Light. And you get to pick any debate topic you want, and I don't care what it is.
Oh, it's perfect for Courtney.
Yeah, you pick one side, I'm taking the other one. I don't even care what it is.
I don't think You're Wrong, Brown really work with the media.
Debate Kirk Cousins. That's what we want to see.
Look, You're Wrong, I'm Brown might get us locked up. We can't.
Oh shit. That's funny.
Hey, look, that ain't gonna. They were like, cut it. Podcast gonna hit you up like, nah.
They're like, dear Lord, what is this guy saying? So yeah, man, just have fun. Like I mean, like my marketing, like so, like how I got on Barstool, they had an audition to be the next Barstool like fucking talents, and I sent my video with like 4,000 people, and they picked like 30 people to go to New York. They picked me, and then like, so what happened was they had me like get ready, like get like what I wanted to do. And I was a stand-up comedian. This was before Barstool did all their betting stuff. So I was going to tell a story about how I bet I had a death poll on when the Pope was going to die when I was in 8th grade. Like, and it's like one of my stand-up bits, right? Which I'll tell you that story too. Look, I put a death pool together on when the Pope was gonna die, right? And I was walking down the steps one day, and my gram lived with us. My mom, and my dad were all watching TV, and my gram's crying. My mom's like a nervous wreck, and my dad's just chill. And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? And my gram's trying to speak, and she can't because she's crying. And my mom is like, the Pope died. And I was like, wait, what? Today? and my mom was like, yeah, this morning. And I'm like, fuck yeah, baby, let's go. And I ran back up the steps. But as I'm running up the steps, I heard a thud, right? Oh, shit. So I come down the steps. I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened? My gram passed out from me celebrating that the Pope died. My dad goes, he's like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, well, I bet on when the Pope would die, and I won. And my dad was like, sick, how much money did you win? So then I tell my dad, I was like, I won $46. And he looked at me, he's like, $46? Really? You almost killed Graham over $46. You know how terrible that would have been? And I was like, dude, I know. Because I don't have that bitch dying in a pool for 4 more years. That one's worth $500.
Oh, shit.
So that was the story I wanted to tell Barstool, right? So they got me mic'd up, ready to go. And right before I go on stage, they're like, hey, I just want to let you know, Dave doesn't like stand-up comedians. So don't even try to be funny. Just tell them your ideas.
Oh.
So like that story would have fucking crushed, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
But it's just like what I said before. If I do what somebody else tells me I'm going to do, I'm going to fail. I should have just did what I wanted to do. So I just tried to spit ideas out of the top of my head for like 30 seconds. I had a Shazier jersey. I thought I was like, oh, well, they'll feel bad for me, Pittsburgh, Shazier. So like I'm telling this story, and like I'm so nervous because everything I've been planning for a month, they don't want me to do.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, you're the funny guy. Why don't you tell jokes? I'm like, because this fucking dickhead told me not to do that, you know?
Oh, my God.
So the guy that ends up winning, his name is Young Mantis. And he had something wrong with him, like some spinal issue or something, but he made fun of it. And like, for me, like, I know that like, if you make fun of your own thing, to me, you're fair game. Like that's always how I've always been as a comic. So I went after him and I was like, the only reason why you won is because you're a fucking weirdo. Knowing that Rough and Rowdy boxing was coming up, I was like, if I go after somebody that I can beat up, someone that can beat the shit out of me will defend him, and I'll fight this motherfucker and get on TV, right? So then one of their big dudes, Chef, who got beat up on the first fight, was like, I'll fight you. And I was like, there it is. So like everything I did was strategic, and like they know that like I didn't have any hard feelings towards that guy. It just was, I wanted a platform to what Shawn Michaels does, is steal the show. And so I get knocked out in like 18 seconds, like terribly. But like the whole show, they talked about me because I wouldn't leave the ring. I wanted him to fight me. So then all Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, all these dudes are chanting, Matt, 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 Matt. And they all wanted me to come back in. And Barstool got so pissed off at that moment because the guy that they told no a year ago just hijacked the whole fucking show. And I was like, oh, they're going to hire me. They have to hire me. I was the reason why everybody was watching. They didn't hire me. So now I just got to beat up some old guy on Barstool or something, whatever it takes. Do I have to stab them while he's doing his pizza review? I'll do it. Give me a job.
Hey, are you running for mayor?
Oh, so now, well, kind of. My shirt says I am. It's a Heinz logo, but instead of a pickle, it's an eggplant. It's Boat the Goat. So, no, I ran for mayor in 2017 as like a joke to like get publicity. And like they were like, well, what are you gonna do? I was like, well, I'm gonna get rid of bike lanes because they're stupid and replace
Damn
them.
right.
Yeah. You're like, we need more lanes for other shit. So get rid of the bike lanes, Peduto, and add some DUI lanes. You know what I mean? Right? Right? Put bumpers on that bitch. We will get to where we're going. You know, ban Kenny Chesney from coming back to Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? We don't need to see any douchebags tailgating with fucking puka shells at Heinz Field. Get rid of them. And then most importantly, when I'm mayor of Pittsburgh, I'm going to build a wall so Cleveland can't get in. And Myles Garrett's going to pay for it. That's what I'm going to do. May of 2021.
He can pay for a couple walls with that new contract of his.
Right?
Hey, all right, Matt. If you want, do you want to stay on the show? Because I mean, I don't know how much time you have. We never talked.
How long are you guys doing this? I'll stay.
Just a little bit longer. We're going to run through our sports and probably be done for the night.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll listen in.
All right, we want to have you. We're going to keep having you back on, man.
Yeah, whenever,
Absolutely.
man. This was fun.
We appreciate it. All right,
Yeah.
so real quick, Robbie, what's going on with MLB? Really quick.
Not a whole lot. Shane Bieber is still doing his thing where he's probably the only good thing in Cleveland right now, actually. He's doing his thing, just striking people out, sitting down and making them unhappy. Aaron Judge had a bullshit DL stint. He was hurting for about 16 hours, and the Yankees put him on the 10-day IL. He came out the next day and said, I'm fine, I want to play today. Of course, he couldn't because he was on the IL. I don't know what that feels like. I wake up in pain every single day, so I have no idea what it feels like to be fine the next day. I can only assume that he would have been good to go to hit another home run. Speaking of dudes hitting home runs, we've been talking about it a lot on the page. We've been having comments and posts and whatnot. But Fernando Tatis Jr., he is 21 years old. His dad was only okay, and he's a lot better. He hit a grand slam the other night in the 8th inning. His team was already up 10-3. And so the manager of the Texas Rangers, the team they were facing, got real butthurt and made a big stink about it and had his next pitcher throw behind the next hitter. And now the manager's suspended for a game. So that's all cool.
That whole situation was just completely fucked.
It's a mess. The whole thing's a mess. First of all, we got kids in their early 20s who have been told for years that style is the most important thing about baseball. And I can tell you that for a fact because I played with a lot of these kids, that style is the most important thing. And so now they're going out there and they've got style and they made the pros, so their skills are enough to be good and entertaining, and their style looks good too. And now they're being told that there's unwritten rules in play for 100 years that no one gives a shit about because no one's given a shit about baseball for 100 years. And now we finally have dudes who can do it and look good doing it. I say we just let them play. There's certain unwritten rules that you follow, and there's certain ones that don't matter. And not swinging at a 3-0 pitch and getting your teammate thrown at behind, that's Bush League on the Rangers for throwing behind Machado on the next pitch.
Yeah, especially since you posted a picture. Didn't they just beat the Orioles like 30-3?
Yeah, 2007.
Angry.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah.
Now I don't know at what level y'all deem a baseball game over, but that game was 11. If I remember correctly from the graphic, it was 11-3 already in the 6th inning. So from there, is they scored 19 more runs unanswered for no apparent I at that point you just want to be done.
Well, there were
Like if I'm
games
on the
where
team
like
that's scoring all those runs, I just want to leave. I just want to be done. Like pull me. Put somebody else in. We're up 27-3. I love baseball. I've always loved baseball. I don't care to keep playing after that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but,
like,
but
it was
most
a
of these,
7-run. It was a 7-run lead, right? When it happened.
Yeah, it was the other night. It was 10-3.
What inning? What inning was it? The 8th. Okay, well, don't you remember when like the Pirates did this? They came back against the Rockies like 10 years ago, and they had that big Makoviak game. So it's like the game wasn't over. Like that whole like you said, like listen, Belichick does it every season. It's 35-3, and instead of kicking the field goal because he wants to be a good sport, he throws a fucking flea flicker to Chris Hogan, something stupid. So come on, just play.
Well, it's not uncommon, especially for baseball, to have a great inning. The Pirates were killing the Reds the other night, and the Reds almost came back to win it.
Yeah.
Because bullpens are blowing more leads than that chick with the Phoenix Suns. I mean, it's just the way it is. Bullpens suck.
Yeah.
And if you want him to hit that grand slam, don't groove it down the middle. And then don't throw him under the bus saying, "Oh, well, I told him to take." Shut up, douche. Like, just let the kid freaking play. Your sport's dying anyway. Just let him play.
Now, if I'm the coach, if I'm that third base coach, I'm probably giving him a take sign anyway, just because that's not like courteous or an unwritten rule. That's just good baseball. The chances of hitting that pitch the way that he did, that's a best case scenario. What he did, you don't ever bet on the best case scenario. You know, even when it's a 7-run lead. So Tatis is a free swinger. The dude, he don't walk and he strikes out a shit ton. He's gonna have to work on those couple of things, but as long as he's hitting dingers, it doesn't really matter.
Just chicks dig the long ball.
Chicks dig the long. That's retweet. Chicks dig the long ball. But I think the biggest issue was that it was on a 3-0 count. If he would have popped that ball up instead of hitting.
Oh, baseball. Sorry.
The best part is it was purple.
I'm sorry, what color do you prefer?
Well, Courtney would have preferred orange.
Double-headed black ones. That's what I was waiting for somebody to say.
No, I just lost my running a train of thought.
Sorry,
holy cow.
you. I'll get yelled at about Flo.
Where the fuck was I going with that? It's amazing how a giant purple dildo will throw off your entire game. I never knew that I could be so thrown for a loop by a big purple dildo. I always thought that I was immune to big purple dildos. I guess I need more practice.
I found your kryptonite.
And Courtney just said he's a black type of dude.
Who's a black type of dude? I mean, we know Courtney's a black type of dude.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Otherwise, we got some questions. Oh, he must have been talking about Rob. Okay, that would make sense.
I'm assuming.
Where the hell was I going with that? Fernando Tatis, 3-0 count. Yeah, it was. It was 3-0. It doesn't matter. If he would have popped it up, nothing would have happened. The Rangers would have been like, "Why would you swing on 3-0?" That would have been the end of it. That's honestly, that's as much news as baseball has had this week. Is a dude hitting a home run on a 3-0 count. So that should tell you all that you need to know about the state of the game right now.
Yeah.
There haven't been any division lead changes. There haven't been any surprising call-ups. I mean, everybody who's getting called up is supposed to get called up. The Cardinals are calling up their top prospect. The Braves are calling up their top prospect.
The Pirates are still 4 games behind the team that had COVID.
That's
somehow.
awesome.
The Pirates were, when the Cardinals had only played 5 games to start the season, the Pirates were 4.5 back of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was fucking nuts.
I don't understand how mathematically that works.
The win percentage. The Pirates were that bad.
That's just impressive, but in a really negative way.
I'm pretty sure they're still the worst team in the MLB right now.
They are. Yeah, the only other team is 5 and the only other team that has almost as least amount of wins as us is the Cardinals that are 5-5. We're 4-14.
That's just
pretty good. The Red Sox are 6-16 though too. They've sucked.
Yeah,
they are. Well, here's the thing with the Red Sox is sort of like how the Pirates have never spent any money ever. The Red Sox are just dipping their feet in the not spending money anymore pool. So
I think they're tanking for the 1 pick.
I mean, it doesn't really matter to tank for the 1 pick in baseball unless there's a Bryce Harper coming, and I haven't heard of a Bryce Harper coming.
There's that
the Red
one
Sox
dude.
Who?
I forget his name. What is his name?
Who coming out this year?
Yeah, all the Pirate fans are posting about it. Here comes the something train. I don't pay attention to the Pirates because I like real sports, and I don't follow minor league fucking teams anymore. I get they almost lost to the Washington Wild things, but there's a guy apparently coming out that's supposed to be a big deal
in their farm system. Yeah, Brian Hayes is serious.
No, not the Pirates, but draft wise this year they're supposed to be a nice draft pick, and I can't remember who it is. Look it up, but the thing is, if the Pirates are the worst team and get the number 1 pick, they're not going to pick him because they're not going to pay him. It's the same shit they did when they got asshole from Pine Richland. We waited 12 years for him to fucking come up. When they passed up, when they passed, he was like projected like 2nd round. They're like, yeah, we'll take him 7th overall.
Well, it's like that. That Mark Appel did the same thing. He was like, "Oh, I'm not signing with the Pirates," so he ended up going back into the draft the next year.
Yeah, because he knows they're not going to do it. The only thing is that I know that they've recently been overpaying their draft picks to just hang out and chill, but then they dip. You know what I mean? Like, I just think like baseball needs to step in and be like, hey, listen, like, you guys don't even fucking try, like, at all. Like, you don't try at all. Like, you know how in soccer, like, if you're the last place team, you go down? Do that with baseball. The worst team in every division should just leave for a year. And then it forces you to spend money because the Pirates will be the best AAA team. We'll have banners all across PNC Park that we won the AAA Classic of every year. Do that.
But hey, Rob, how's hockey doing? And I know Gino had to get his elbow taken care of.
Yeah, he had a little minor surgery on his elbow. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. They said it's very minor. Zach Aston Reese had shoulder surgery. He's out 6 months, which really, I mean, honestly, does it really matter? Right now, looking at the Islanders and Caps are tied 2-2 with 10 minutes left to go in the second. The Islanders are heading to the power play. If the Isles win, they sweep that series, and the Capitals will have the same record as the Pens last 2 seasons in the playoffs. Nothing. No wins, no nothing to get their asses kicked. But I'm kind of pulling for Tampa Bay in a way and hoping that maybe Columbus will fire Torts because if they do, I can venture to say that Torts will be in behind the bench with Sully to start next season, which would be epic because Torts don't take no shit. He's great interview after the games and stuff like that, and he ain't afraid to hold back and say anything. Vegas could bless you. Vegas could win their series tonight. Also, they're up 3-1. Other than that, every other series is tied up 2-2 or 3-2. There's not much going on. It's kind of Phillies up 3-1 on Montreal. They won 2-0 earlier today. Carter Hart with back-to-back shutouts. That's the only good thing going for Philly right now, considering that's where goaltenders go to die. Hopefully they don't ruin that kid's career because I don't remember any other goaltender coming out of Philly since Ron Hextall that was really any good.
Yeah. I do. I will say I was joking about it at work the other day. The fun part about sports right now is it almost feels like March Madness at bowl season, where there's sports on all day, every day.
Yeah, well, NBA starts at noon tomorrow?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, NHL starts at 3:00, which is I get to catch up on the scores and then hopefully catch the games when I get home from work. But yeah, it's a great time to watch sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just still sucks that there's no fans in the stands, man. It just it does take a lot away from the game, considering what Kansas City Chiefs said that they're going to put like 22% of their fans in the stands, which is roughly about 16,000 people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they're not having any fans at Gillette till at least October.
Yeah. So that's kind of a good segue to that NFL.
I think what NFL should do, and I've had this idea for a while now, is I think the idea of some sort of bubble makes the most sense, and they're not going to do it. But like, here's my thoughts: is because people like you got Heinz Field, right? Heinz Field gets tore up by Pitt, by the Whippy-O's, and it's a garbage field. Grass fields get tore up. You have 7 domes, right? So you should have hub states or hub areas. So Dallas and Houston should be the hub for the NFC, right? But it forces Dallas to not play at Dallas. They got to stay in Houston just so that they don't have any advantages at all. The whole NFC goes there. Put the AFC in New Orleans and Atlanta in those two domes. And then the traveling isn't as much as you would expect. And then kind of limit where they can go and what they're doing. Because the NHL, like, there's no bubble in the NHL. There's just hub cities. And the players are listening and they're doing what's necessary. And I understand that Canada has handled this a lot better than we have. But if they just do that and there's incentives to where, like, hey, listen, like, you know, if you just behave and just stay, because listen, I'm 31. If you told me who has $30-some million, you know, to stay in your hotel, it ain't happening, man. Like, so I don't know how I could do it, but I think that if you have hub cities to keep them there, then they're only going to 3 cities max. That's it. You know what I mean? Because 2 for the NFC, and then you play all your AFC games in 1. So
imagine that. You figured it all out in 5 minutes what the NFL's had 6 months to do, and they still can't figure it out. Imagine that.
I mean, if there's not going to be fans in the stadium, who gives a fuck? What's the difference? You know what I mean?
I absolutely agree with you, man, because me and George talked about this also, where it's like, you cannot tell me a revenue with the NFL cannot buy in to it. Like, there's no way you can't tell me they can't be like, okay, we're going to take these hotels, we're going to take these buses, we're going to take these airplanes, and they're only going to be all NFL.
Yeah.
The problem is the players do not care about the owners. The owners do not care about the players, and there's a clash. The NHL commissioner cares about his guys. How did they respond? The NBA cares about their players. How did they respond? You can look at even baseball. As bad as it is, baseball is having problems because there's individuals who are stepping out and not doing what they need to do. Right. WWE, they're in a fucking I would assume they're in a bubble, or they're doing some shit and figuring it out.
They're all living in Orlando or staying in Orlando.
Yeah. Right, they're close. It's like their hub city, and they're just being smart about it. And it's like, how the fuck does the NFL and the NCAA, who had the most time, not have it figured the fuck out?
NCAA, you're never going to control.
Yeah, the NCAA, I mean, there's 168 teams or something. So, like, you know what I mean? That is what it is. But, like, the NFL, if they're, like, worried about money and shit, dude, I don't have a problem for this year. The Pittsburgh Steelers are sponsored by fucking Excedrin or Valtrex or whatever they want to do. Like, it doesn't matter. Put a logo on their chest. It doesn't, like, whatever you need to make money so that the league happens. Because what terrifies me so much is, and I'm not saying because I'm a Yinzer, but this is their fucking season. Because here's why. Teams don't repeat. Teams never repeat. So when everyone talks about the Chiefs, fuck you. You're not winning again. You're just statistically, you're not winning again. Baltimore, fuck Lamar Jackson. Make him throw down the middle, keep him in the pocket, you'll contain his ass. The Steelers did it in week 4. He forced 4 turnovers against his ass.
And we gave him the ball in overtime.
Yeah.
It worked.
We went 8-8 with 2 Make-A-Wish quarterbacks last year. Like, you're telling me, you know what I mean? Like, you're telling me that big fucking – and it's not even Ben win us games. It's Ben, don't fuck him up. Deontay Johnson's going to be one of the baddest receivers in the NFL. Agreed. He's legit. Claypool he's destroying right now. He looks unreal. And I you know, Connor, man, if Connor can stay healthy and if that O-line can here's the thing. The O-line underperformed last year, but the problem is this. When you have 2 quarterbacks who Mason, who stayed in the pocket the whole time, Duck would outrun his fucking lineman. So they're like, dude, what are you doing? Where do you think there's protection over there? You know, so I think
David DeCastro said it where he talked about being miserable and so unhappy last year. And he said, well, when you play a team and you get 5 turnovers and you lose that football game, it gets mentally tough. Like, it gets hard.
San Fran, right?
Yep. Yeah. And I think I was talking to my guys, because obviously I coach at Penn Hills, and we had a conversation about it. And I told them the fact that the best acquisition that Pittsburgh had was Matt Canada. Him coming in and giving us a flavor on offense to where we actually, as a coach who knows what the fuck he's doing and not just going to suck Big Ben off and listen to Big Ben. And if Big Ben goes down, we actually have a coach who can actually call plays that will help the team. Like, you can't tell me James Conner, you got Benny Snell, you got McFarland, you got Claypool, Juju, Deontay Johnson, James Washington, Vance McDonald, Eric Ebron, and we went 8-8 last year, and you don't think we're going to be in competition this year? You're
out
high.
of your mind.
Nobody's even
Yeah.
You're smoking.
No, the Steelers defense not going to do what they did last year because the turnovers were just like 09 Saints, ridiculous stat numbers. But they're still going to be badass. The turnovers might not be there, but the whole point is like the Steelers' biggest downfall wasn't even losing Big Ben. When Munchak left, they were fucking clueless for a year. When their wide receivers coach passed away, they were fucking clueless for the year, man. So the team has daddy back. Ben is back, and he's going to fucking sling his dick down the field. We're getting 3 rings this year. I'm telling you. Ben's getting his 3rd ring.
Purple dicks on 3.
Dude, fucking terrible cow, dude. Dude, could you imagine being at Renegade? Just like, and it's just dildo slapping? It's 3rd down. So, I feel it, man. I think Pittsburgh's going to go to the Super Bowl.
But yeah, man, the funny part is you're echoing everything that me and Courtney have talked about the Steelers since last year.
It's like you watched the show or something.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say that's misleading about the Steelers, on a good note, the only thing that I'll say that I think is a little bit overrated is that we did say that they went 8-8 because they only beat one team with a winning record, and that was the Rams on the road, and they were absolute dog shit on the road. They have been dog shit on the road. But what I liked is that Tomlin was there. Tomlin, and I'm not a Tomlin fan, but what I give credit to Tomlin is he got a group of guys who were younger, right? There's no leaders on that offensive side, really. And all the defensive guys, they're all his guys, right? Like he traded for Minka, he drafted everybody else. They're all his guys. And he pretty much told them, hey, man, like, this is your job. Your job is on the line because everybody's replaceable. Ben's gone. Juju's hurt. You know what I mean? You got Connor that's hurt. You had all these injuries, man. So the next man up mentality really worked because these players knew that if they didn't perform well, they would be elsewhere. If Benny Snell didn't do well, we were probably going to take the Ohio State running back probably in the 2nd round.
JK
you know what I mean? Yeah. And I wanted him. I really did. But, we didn't take him. And what we see out of Claypool, I fucking love. I think that's a sign saying, Juju, this is your last year. So you either hoist the Lombardi or go do Pizza Hut commercials next season. Like, it's up to you. So I just hope he balls out and kicks ass, and then he can go get a huge paycheck with Miami and play with Tua, because I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. I unfortunately think this year, unless something happen, Juju and Connor will be their last year in black and gold.
Yeah.
Just because of contracts of other guys on the team that are going to have to get paid.
Like Cam Hayward, which is really interesting to see how the Cam Hayward's up, Watt's up. What are we going to do with Bud Dupree? And that's just going to be interesting. Because we can talk about this. So I say this because you mentioned Mike Tomlin and how it's his team now. And it kind of bothered me because on one end, when I seen that the black president of the Washington football team got hired, my first reaction was like, holy shit, this is historic. This is a big moment. Like, goddamn, like it's about time. Like, all these protests people are finally listening. And then I was like, but wait, didn't they just deal with this? And didn't they have this going on? And then they have this going on. But then I was like, but you know what? Fuck it. This black dude.
It still happened now. It's still
happening. And I think,
you know what I mean?
So, yeah, it's like, and I don't know how George felt about it, but I know I was like, at first I was like, and I'm like, but then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. The brother got it regardless of how it happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's. I mean, I look at that, and you can look at that from a Pittsburgh Steelers standpoint. I mean, it wasn't race related, but I mean, when the Steelers drafted James Conner, don't tell me part of his story wasn't why he got fucking drafted.
Yeah.
Honestly, like don't. And I'll tell you this firsthand because I had cancer. I went to the same doctor as James Conner, Dr. Marks. Like James Conner was not going to go in the third round. There was no fucking way he was going in the third round. They took him because he has heart, he has determination, and he balled the fuck out for Pitt, but not before cancer, but before he fucked his leg up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was the injury I was worried about. And what I think is so amazing, man, like people were like, he's made out of glass, he's made out of shit. And like, here's the thing. It may be the case, and it probably is the case because when I went through chemo, like I used to be in softball leagues before this, and I would hit 400-foot home runs, legit, no joke, fucking easy, right? I could do it. When I just finished my chemo, I could not hit the ball past the pitcher's mound. I couldn't do it. So, like, what this guy is doing is fucking phenomenal. I think it's inspirational. I think it's amazing. But I also don't think that that's a pass for not producing. I think you have the opportunity, run with it. You know what I mean? Just like you said, it doesn't matter how you get the opportunity. It's what you do with it. This is his contract year. This is his moment to say, hey, listen, you guys believed in me, who I am. Thank you. I'm going to give you everything I got. And if he balls out, man, I hope he does well, whether it's with Pittsburgh or another team. But, you know, unfortunately, injuries has been his kryptonite.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard, though, too, to finish a whole year as a healthy running back when you don't have a fucking quarterback. Saquon got beat up last year because, you know, Jones sucks. You know what I mean? I don't know how McCaffrey survived with that asshole, whoever was quarterback. What was his name?
I don't know. There's
Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
Will Greer.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited for the Pitt. Again, the Steelers season this year. Like you said, I do think that's why I want football to happen because I do think it is Pitt's year to make a deep run.
Yeah.
But it is scary to think of not having a season. Ben's old as shit. The offensive line's old as shit. And again, you have a bunch of guys that need contracts next year. So
this is
up the band a lot.
This is the early 2010 Seahawks right now.
Pretty much.
You have your Legion of Boom. You have your decent offense, not killing offense, because this was before, you know, Russell Wilson was lighting shit up. I mean, he was good, but he was in his rookie contract and he was all right and doing well. But, like, this is your year because after this season, you got 2 guys defensively that potentially won't be there, 2 to 3 guys offensively that potentially won't be there. And then you have an aging quarterback expected to make like $35 million next year. Yeah. So if they don't do it this year, like that's it. That's why I want this bubble for Pittsburgh's sake. Like I want a fucking catch-up bubble and I want to see us just play. Because if they don't play this year, man, as much as I love Ben, not just another year, you know. So
definitely.
I don't know if Ben got. He talked about how he went for Lombardi, but I don't know at what point does he stop hitting our cap so hard.
Well, I think he's got that mindset because he wears 7 for Elway. So when he's saying Lombardi's, what I truly believe is he's got 2 years left in his contract. How did Elway go out? Back to back, and then he just dipped. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's what he wants. I think this is his Jerome Bettis go-home show where he thinks he's either going to win 1 or 2 and then dip. But the reality is, I mean, like I said about the reason why I don't think the Chiefs will, is you don't repeat unless you're the Patriots. It just doesn't happen, man.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And honestly, man, without Williams and without a couple guys on the Chiefs that aren't playing, and plus all the money they tied into that team with the D-end and with him, that fucking team is not going to be as good as people think. They should have lost.
I don't know, bro.
Man, they should have lost every fucking playoff game they played last year. They were down 24-0 against Houston. Houston's a bum-ass team, so when they beat them, who gives a shit? The 49ers gave them that fucking game. That was the second Super Bowl Shanahan gave away.
Yeah.
All Garoppolo had to do was throw that touchdown pass. Motherfucker overthrew him, and that was it. That was game. They had that. Mahomes was never in control of that game until 6 minutes left in the fourth. And then he took the lead, and then San Francisco just fucking – they lost it, man. I don't think San Fran won that game.
That defense was exhausted. They was on the field a lot. And I think that's where when people give credit to, like, Pat Mahomes and everybody, like, to your point, I say it all the time, like, no matter how great your defense is, if they're on the field all game, they're not to do good.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, we just got trolled. We got trolled last year by all these Bills asshole fans about Josh Allen with his yeah, we were on the fucking field the whole game. Literally, we're on the field the whole game. That was a game Connor played great. You know, he had the stiff arm touchdown. He made that juke, and he did like a 30-yard run. But like that whole game, we were playing on our heels, but somehow we were still in it only for that defense. So like that's like another thing when people were like, oh, is Renegade dead? Is Renegade over? No, motherfucker. But for 60 minutes, they were on the field for 43 of those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, what do you expect? You know, as much as I want to see the defense come out, I don't want them on the field the whole fucking time. Get a couple first downs. You know, and I think that's a big problem. It's just that, like, that's why the Steelers are going to be fine. Because all they got to do is throw 6-yard check down passes. You got 2 tight ends. Just manage the game. Don't win the game. The defense will win it for you. They'll give you a short field 90% of the time. So that's what I think.
I hope that's the recipe they go with.
Yeah, I mean, do the Peyton Manning, right?
Yeah.
Peyton did enough. I mean, he wasn't great, but he didn't fucking blow it.
Well, I mean, at this point, Ben will have more than enough weapons, even to like rotate out guys. And I really hope they put Fichtner just somewhere in a corner and just let Ben run the offense.
Well, I think Fichtner. I think he is Ben. I mean, I think that's why he was so bad last year. Because it wasn't his offense, you know? And then he was trying to implement Ben's offense with Rudolph. Like, they tried to do Mason Rudolph's Big 12 offense where he only was stepping out in shotgun.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you have one wide receiver proven right now. James Washington didn't have a strong rookie season. You know what I mean? Deontay Johnson was a rookie. You didn't know what you were getting out of him. Vance McDonald was a huge disappointment last season. And then that asshole Nick Vannett sucked. He did nothing for us. So
yeah, and then wants to talk shit afterwards.
Yeah, did you see that? It was miserable. Like, fuck you, dude. You lived in Seattle. It rained every day. Like, shut up. This is what was miserable? I hope he gets asthma living in Denver. Fuck him.
who?
Nick Vannett. He plays
Vannett.
for the Broncos now.
No, I said who?
The Broncos
because,
with their
he
17.
he just doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's just miserable. But that's one thing, though, with the Steelers now that you haven't seen, though, is they're making free agency moves. And I think it's because Tomlin feels a little bit of heat underneath his ass. I think he knows that, like, hey, like, my time might be going. Like, 8-8, like, yeah, I've never had a losing season, but Pittsburgh doesn't want that. Pittsburgh isn't the Browns. We're not settling for 9-7, 8-8, 10-6. Like, we expect to win the division every other year. And if you're not doing that and you're consistently getting embarrassed by Denver in the playoffs, fucking Jacksonville, you know what I mean? Getting humiliated by New England every time you step on the field on the road against them.
Yeah.
Like, those things take its toll. And Ben makes the excuse saying, well, who has had success against them? Listen, you had the best wide receiver in the game, the top 5 quarterback, the best running back in the game, and you had 6 points in the first half. So, like, don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear it. And then Lev Bell left with an injury, which was bullshit. His injury wasn't shit. in that AFC Championship game that he walked off. He was getting bullied on the field, and he's like, I'm good. I'm going to sit out next year anyways. What do I care? You know? So this is our year. No selfish players. Just a diva quarterback that I love, but he's a diva. We can admit it. You know, Ben will throw an incompletion and he'll start limping off the field and act like somebody smacked his leg. And then the next play, he scrambles for 30 yards and does a first down. Like that's our Ben. Like he's our Brett Favre. Yeah, you know, he's our tough, rugged Wrangler guy that we have to hear his drama every now and then. But you know what? If it brings us Super Bowls, you can do whatever you want, man. So I think this is their year, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for this year. Again, talking about Ben and his injuries and then Lev Bell and his shit. Right now, I feel like I saw Facebook and Instagram, and it's like just an entire injury list. Guys are getting hurt left and right now.
Did you see Mac Wilson got hurt?
Yeah.
That was great, wasn't it? I loved it. I loved it because people forget that he tweeted about Juju when he knocked Juju out of the game and he put 1-0 with his
yeah.
And then he deleted it. Well, you're out for the year, so go fuck yourself. How's that? You know what I mean?
AJ Green's hurt again.
I don't think he cares, though. I don't think he's going to try.
AJ, no.
No, he don't want to be there anymore, man. He could have played by week 4 last year. He was like, fuck this squad. What's the point? You know, the Bengals, I tell you what, man, like COVID's weird because it could be a weird come up season where like, I feel like on one of those 30-1 dogs, I'd put $20 on them to win the Super Bowl. Why not?
Yeah. You never know.
You never know. I mean, when the Suns came out of the bubble, they were 8-0. They were balling out, whooping ass. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't know what's going to happen in this short season because really, there's no time for players to make their mark as a rookie.
No.
You know, there's no training camp really. There's no preseason. It's really we're gonna stick with our guys we had last year for 8 weeks, and hopefully these guys can implement the system to play them the second half. The only thing that scares me is that Baltimore is gonna pick up AB like in week 4 and get them ready by week 9 to come back, dude. Because I don't care what anybody says. He's still the baddest dude in the NFL when he plays.
Yeah, I have my own thoughts about how he is, but he's, again, one of the top wide receivers, easily top 3. And in that offense with his route running, it's enough.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a nightmare because you have, you know, he has the benefit of having somebody like Roethlisberger who wants to extend the plays, and that's where AB made his money.
Yes.
It wasn't the first initial that long. It was his improvising. So you got a guy like Lamar Jackson who can do whatever the fuck he wants in the backfield. I mean, he's a grown-ass man that he's the only dude that I ever saw bully TJ Watt. Right in front of me, he stiff-armed this motherfucker and just dropped him. And I was like, oh, my God. Because, like, Lamar looks little. He looks skinny. But he bullied TJ, dude. And TJ fell back, and I was like, oh, man, this guy's the real deal. So, I mean.
Do you have season tickets?
This year's my first year, so we'll see what happens. I'm in section 112. But I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm thinking like
viewers have said if they're having fans or not yet.
Well, they had us pay.
Oh, okay.
They had you pay, and they said it's up to you. You don't have to pay. You'll keep your tickets for next year.
You can opt out.
Right, but if you do pay, and you don't get your money back, it just goes towards next season.
Oh, well, at least it goes towards something then.
Yeah, but I mean, still, like, I mean, that's like 5 G's that they're just like, thanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're going to hold on to this for you.
Yeah, like, we're going to put it in a fucking money market account and make 7% interest on it while you don't have it for 12 months. So, I mean, I do have, you know, my house has Heinz Field. Did you know that?
Your house has Heinz Field?
My house, hold on one second. My house.
Oh, nice.
So that's a sign from section 110. That's where I sat the AFC Championship game when Palomalu intercepted against the Ravens. And then those are seats they removed when they were fixing a restaurant at Heinz Field.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How did you get that?
So the Heinz Field sign, the sign I got on the Steelers eBay account. So I think I paid $260 for the sign, and then the chairs was from some redneck hillbilly that he did the wiring at the place. He's like, I don't know what these fucking things are worth. You give me an offer. And I was like, how many of you guys? Like 4. I was like, I'll give you $100 for them. He's like, nope, 150. I was like, 125. He was like, yeah. I was like, you're an idiot.
He's probably watching the show. He's probably watching the show. That motherfucker.
That motherfucker don't got Wi-Fi. Come on. He don't. Listen, like his phone ringtone is like these guys. That's when I do
Rob hang out with.
Well, listen, Rob, when I do shows, the way that I judge an audience before I even get there is if I have less than 2 bars on my phone, I know they're fucking idiots and they're gonna hate me. That's how I can tell. I'm like, Sprint, what's 1X? Fuck! And I know I'm gonna bomb. So,
what's your favorite city you've been to through touring and stuff?
oh man, through touring would be different. For real life, just hanging out, New Orleans is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the game 2 years ago when Juju fumbled and Tomlin went for the fake punt, and Nix thought he had it and was a yard and a half short. That's the best city. But for comedy, man, St. Louis was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
St. Louis was fun. Columbus, Ohio is probably the best crowd in America because I think they just need a laugh because all their teams suck. So I think, other than Ohio State, but yeah, I think Columbus was a super cool town.
Did you give them now when you go to towns like that? Do you just hammer their teams that suck, or?
Oh yeah, so like when I performed in Baltimore, I wore a Steelers jersey, and I came out to black and yellow. And, yeah, they booed me immediately, and the booker was like, "Hey, how about for the next show you don't do that?" And I was like, "Hey, for the next show, maybe Google who you fucking booked because I'm going to do this at the next 9 o'clock show. And if you have me again, guess what? I'm going to wear another jersey or I'll wear a white suit with a knife and have blood all over it and say I'm Ray Lewis. What do you guys want me to do?" So
did they ever?
So I never got booked there again. No, I never. But I had fun, you know? And I think one of the coolest shows that never happened, I was supposed to be doing a show the year that when we lost to the Jaguars in a divisional round. Yeah. I was supposed to go up to Foxborough and perform at Gillette Stadium the day before the AFC Championship game. And it was going to be like Pittsburgh versus New England, and I was going to represent the Steelers. And then other comedians were going to do that. And so one of my like videos that I do like this, like I did a stunner and I choke slam people through tables that went on YouTube. So I was going to take one of the hosts from the show who I was going to have him wear a Brady jersey and I was going to fucking John Cena FU him through the table. But it never happened and I was bummed. But what I think is so crazy is like, so my name, Matt Light, a lot of people will tweet at me thinking I'm the former left tackle for the New England Patriots. Like, they're like, like WEEI or whatever is their like big broadcasting company in New England.
Yeah.
And I just, every time they tweet me, I'll quote tweet them and be like, Tom Brady's mom sucks cocks in hell. And then they're like, "Oh my God, what was the beef between the former lineman and quarterback?"
He's probably gonna fucking beat you up.
Oh, probably, dude. I mean, at this point, and then he got in trouble last week because he said that wearing masks are stupid, and anybody that wears them are dumb. So I got a lot of people tweeting at me like, "Hey, I can't believe you said that," and I just replied, "Eat my ass, go Steelers." This is all I can say. And people were like, "Is he coming back? Did the Steelers sign him? What happened?" So, I mean, that's been fun.
Oh man.
All right.
That's
Well, I think that's it for the. I think our show's gonna wrap up. Matt, like, please, I'm gonna hit you up, man. You're gonna,
Yeah.
if you can, this Saturday. Are you gonna be able to come on the show? Maybe not this Saturday. I don't know what their schedule is, but we need you on the show.
Yeah, maybe not this one, but the next one I can definitely do. We'll make. Wait. What do we have? The 5th. I can do the 5th. What's that? In 2 weeks?
Something like that. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I can't do the 12th. I can do the. I'll do the 5th with you guys.
Hey, and anytime you want to join the round table, man, just let us know. George, do you got anything else before we go?
No, man. Thanks for coming on. It was great to have you. I hope you win the best comic.
Thank you,
You're
Yeah.
killing it.
dude. If I win, we're gonna have a huge tailgate. I'm not even kidding. Somewhere around Heinz Field, we're fucking. You're all coming. We're gonna tailgate. Let's
Brady
party,
Bunch will be
man.
there.
What's that?
Hey,
Brady Bunch will be there.
Light or hoodie on sale. bobchatbowling.com/loudmouthsportstalk. Get you
Perfect.
40
I love it.
bucks, man.
All righty.
All right, guys.
All
We'll
right.
talk to you later.
All right, thanks,
All
man.
right, guys.